Update: am I the a-hole for sterilizing myself against my partner's wishes? Original post. Okay, Reddit. I need some unbiased outside opinions because I truly feel like I'm going crazy dealing with this situation. I, 28 female, and my partner, 28 male, have 2 children together and have been married for 8 years. For those 8 years, I've either been on birth control when we were preventing pregnancy or tracking my cycle when we were trying to conceive. Adding this just to give the community the context that reproductive responsibility has always fallen on my shoulders. Recently, we discussed the possibility of being done with children since we have our 2, and the family really feels complete. My partner is in agreement that a 3rd child is off the table for him as well. So with that, I thought, great, I can bring up sterilization for either him or me. The reason I wanted this is because I've had every form of birth control before, and none of them ever left me feeling 100% okay. So I wanted to be done with birth control completely, since we both agreed we're done. It's been about 3 months since our talk about more children, so I brought up either him getting a vasectomy or me getting a salpingectomy, removing my fallopian tubes. What I thought would be a productive conversation completely blew up. He outright refused a vasectomy, and when I was okay with that and said I'd happily get a salpingectomy, he completely lost it on me, screaming about how he forbids it from happening and that he won't allow me to damage myself like that. I ended up just leaving the conversation and went to get our kids from school, but on the way, I called my gynecologist to schedule a consultation for the salpingectomy after making sure I won't need my spouse's approval. So, Reddit, am I the a-hole if I go through with the sterilization against my partner's wishes? Now for the top comments before reading the update. He forbids you? Big nope on that. Yeah, and laughing at him thinking that procedure will damage her more than childbearing. Ew. He just tipped his hand to how he really feels, and it's unsavory. You're not the a-hole, and I hate that you're questioning that. Your body, your choice. You're done with kids, and this is a logical step. Why does he feel this way so strongly on both of you? What has him so twisted? I honestly wish I knew. He seemed supportive of our friends, both men and women, who have had sterilization procedures. Not the a-hole. He is obviously carrying none of the burden. Being a mother is hard. Carrying a baby is hard. That being said, if you want to keep your marriage, talk it through with him before going through with it. If he is unwilling to help you avoid a pregnancy, he is being selfish. You may want to consider the future of that marriage. Is being off birth control and reclaiming your reproductive health more important than your marriage? He needs to think that through. And you need to think through if this was a knee-jerk reaction for him or an absolute disregard for you. Not an easy choice. But if you do go through with the procedure without him on board, your marriage will probably not survive it. That is true and definitely something I'll need to sit on. I'll be honest, calling my doctor was definitely a knee-jerk reaction for me because it felt like a disregard of my health and how I'm feeling on birth control, since he's seen the negative health effects it's had on me. Now for the first update the next day. Due to the support and advice I found on here, I managed to get the confidence and level headspace needed to try to have another conversation with my partner. After getting our children to their school and daycare for the day, I went to our local coffee shop to pick us up each a cup. I figured it could either be seen as a show of care or a peace offering. Once I got home, he was sitting at our island doom-scrolling through TikTok. I think we've all been there. I decided standing across from him would be a better choice, so I gave us our respective cups and asked if I could get his attention for a conversation. Well, what I hoped would be productive turned unproductive quickly, as he sighed with an eye roll and turned off his phone. I started by asking the big question of whether he wanted any more children. I even suggested he not think about what I said on the subject and just tell me his feelings about more children. With that, he answered a firm no and told me, as he said before, a 3rd child is and will always be off the table. I then asked him if he had any fears or concerns about surgeries and medical procedures. He said no to this question as well. So I asked if he understood the procedure and what it entailed, and he said yes, he does, which is why he doesn't want me to get it done. In his words, I wouldn't be a woman if I got any part of my reproductive organs, what makes me a woman, removed, and he refuses to allow me down that path. I then followed up by asking about his getting a vasectomy, and he said it's pretty much the same thing for men, and he won't let anyone take away his manhood. The final question I managed to ask was, did he just expect me to be on birth control forever? And this man looked me in the face and said, it's worked so well for you already, why change things up? Guys, as I stated in my previous post, I am miserable and in debilitating pain with birth control. At the end of this, I just grabbed my coffee and went to sit on our porch, just trying to wrap my head around the conversation, while he sat in the house acting like nothing is wrong and we're just having a normal day off together. I'm trying to find a respectful way to ask this, but not coming up with anything, so I'm just going to ask, does your husband have any sort of intellectual impairment? The idea that you aren't a woman if you have surgery is so ridiculous that I can't believe a person with a 3-digit IQ would suggest that. Is there any possibility that he'd participate in couples counseling? As far as I'm aware, he's perfectly fine mentally. I even would have called him intelligent before these recent discussions. So he's already told you and shown you he doesn't care that you are in pain. What else can we tell you, honey? He doesn't care for you in the same way you care for him. I'm definitely realizing that makes me feel like every time he's taken care of me due to the birth control issues was just a lie. Why just not have sex with him? Problem is solved. And if you need to be satisfied by another human, find one that will fit your needs. Honestly, after the conversation, my attraction towards him died instantly. Didn't think that was possible. Yeah, stupidity and selfishness are very unattractive. Second update 2 days later. Hey Reddit, I just wanted to give a small update. I've been reading all of your comments on my last 2 posts. I appreciate all the advice and kind words, and sometimes even the unkind words, because they give me more to think about. So to start, I've been at my sister's with the children all weekend. I told my husband that she was feeling lonely and wanted us to stay over. He believed it, as we usually try to do this once a month. I called off work Monday so my sister and I could meet with the divorce lawyer who handled her divorce. I'm unsure if divorce will be the path I go down, but I want to get my ducks in a row before laying it all down for my husband. Also, I would like to answer some questions I saw a lot of in my last post. Yes, I still plan to go through with the sterilization. I absolutely don't want any more children, even if this ends in divorce. I plan to tell him it's getting done no matter what he says or believes. There will definitely be no sex with him anymore. I feel like I've lost all attraction and respect for him. The children don't know what's going on. They just think it's a fun time at Auntie's house. Condoms are a no. I exist because of a broken condom. I currently have an IUD, and while yes, it has been the best birth control I've been on, I still cannot function properly for a week out of the month due to pain, bleeding, and depressive episodes. No, he hasn't done anything like this before, which is what caught me so off guard with everything. Disagreements in our relationship have, up until now, been able to be discussed and compromised on. We grew up in a deeply Catholic community, but fell away from the church years ago. I plan to tell him it's getting done no matter what he says or believes. Stop right there. He will clean out your bank accounts. Get this done quietly and quickly. Do not under any circumstances warn this man. Do not dismiss the seriousness of this moment. This is how you get dead. Thankfully, our finances for the most part are separated. The only joint bank account we have is for bills and child expenses. Good, but let me reiterate. Do not warn him. Stay pleasant. Make neutral statements. Stay silent about your plans and intentions. Better he take his bewilderment, it came out of nowhere, and pray on it, journal on it, go to the priest, or best case scenario a therapist than you ending up another statistic. Take the danger seriously. You think you know him, but the fact is, a couple of years ago you knew this man was worth a lifetime commitment, so you know nothing about his future actions. That is true, and things I will take into consideration when making my plan, as well as things I will bring up with the lawyer. Third update, 8 days later. So I would like to start off by saying thank you to everyone for the amazing support I've received throughout the comments and messages. I know I haven't replied in a while, but I have been reading it all. Now to update everyone on the meeting with the lawyer. I was able to talk through my options, as well as what would legally be my husband's and what would legally be mine. I know my next steps would lead to divorce, and I feel confident in taking those steps if needed. After the meeting, I went back home and got settled back in. I ended up just doing normal tasks until the kids got home, and when my husband got home, I suggested getting the children to bed early so we could talk. So we did just that. He ended up starting the conversation by saying that if I plan to get the sterilization, then he wants a divorce because he can't be with someone who doesn't share his same values. At that moment, I knew this was it for us. So I informed him of my consultation this week for the surgery and my intention to go through with it no matter what. There was honestly a lot of back and forth. I want to say it lasted for 3 hours before he said he's done and left the house. He's been staying at his mom's and hasn't really asked about the children staying with him. I have offered, per the suggestion of my lawyer, but to no avail. Currently, I'm getting a legal separation agreement written up to hopefully start the divorce process peacefully, or as peacefully as possible. The kids ask about him, but I just keep telling them he's helping grandma for a bit. I'm not sure how to tell them he won't be back. Thankfully, my therapist suggested a children's therapist to me, so I plan to set them up with an appointment soon. I'm honestly not too sure where everything went wrong with us. I always felt like we had true love, but maybe I was just naive to any of the other signs. Some advice: document everything because he's going to make this as ugly as possible. Remain calm and civil at all times, and no matter what, don't ever lose your temper. If you're going to meet with him, try to have someone come with you. I've already been keeping communications through text, but I'll definitely have someone with me if we meet. I know he plans to come this weekend to get some things, but my sister has been staying with me, so she'll be here. I am so sorry, OP. My heart hurts for you and your kids. He has clearly gone down some rabbit hole that has filled his head with trash ideas. Or he's betraying you in some other way, and this is his out without being the bad guy because he's saying it's a question of values. He's not totally wrong though. His values are that he should have control over his wife's body, while you don't believe you should have control over his. His values are disgusting, while yours are not. I would also start digging into things, OP. There is something driving this change. New friends, new media, another woman who believes in trad-wifing, though I don't even think they think this dumb. None of this makes sense. How you're feeling is 100% valid. Was he surprised to hear you already met with a lawyer? Does his mom/family agree with what he is saying? Have you asked him where this new way of thinking came from? I wish you strength, peace, and healing as you go through this. All the best to you and your little ones. You'll be okay. I haven't mentioned meeting with a lawyer yet. I didn't want to throw any gas onto the already lit fire, especially with the kids home. His mom thinks we can still work it out, and his dad seems to be staying out of it from what I'm understanding. Now for the last update 2 weeks later. I know a few people have been messaging me as well as commenting on a few platforms, asking for an update on everything going on. To start off with the divorce, I'm finishing up with my lawyer to get the divorce petition written and served to my husband. That should happen before the end of this month. Last I heard from his side regarding the divorce, he got a lawyer for himself and once served wants all communications to go through our lawyers. I finished sorting through our asset division and making a custody plan, so my lawyer has that ready to be sent to his lawyer for any questions or concerns. I'm sure there will be a bit of back and forth until an agreement is met. Next, an update about the children. They now know we are separating and going through a divorce. While initially, they were very upset with the news, things have kind of settled and become accepted. They are in therapy individually and also with us as a family, so I'm hoping that continues to help them. My husband has been having them about 1 day a week, usually on Saturdays during the day, as he expresses not being able to handle them alone at night. I keep him in the loop about therapy, even offering for him to come if he is willing, which so far has been a no for the few sessions we've had. I also make sure he knows that he is welcome to have the children more than just 1 day a week. I'm hoping he comes around to co-parenting a bit better because I know the kids do miss him. I try to communicate with him about what's happening in the kids' lives, such as school and extracurriculars, but he keeps pushing me to communicate through his mom. So far, I've been sending them both similar messages, so there is proof I'm communicating with him directly as well as through his preferred method. Lastly, my surgery. My consultation went amazingly, and my surgery is scheduled for the end of June. My mom and sister will be with me through the surgery and healing process. I'm very thankful for them. My gynecologist removed my IUD about a week ago, and honestly, I've been feeling so much better. As each day passes, I feel like I'm really coming back to myself. I'm just waiting for that first period to see if it'll be like they usually are, or if I'm back to normal. I am getting a full workup in about 2 weeks. My doctor wants my hormones, vitamins, and everything checked, as well as doing a few ultrasounds to check everything. So that's really all I have going on. Nothing exciting or groundbreaking, just a sad start to a divorce and medical stuff. I am so laughing that he can only handle them for a day. If I knew him, I would totally tell him this is why she didn't want to have any more kiddos. You can't handle your fair share of the work. I'm sorry and so glad you found a doctor who would do this for you. I asked for this to be done with both my C-sections and was denied. Married someone who took the leap so I didn't have to. Crazy they let him do it, but not me. That is honestly why they denied you. I'm sure it wouldn't have taken them much effort to do it during the C-section. He's mad because you're getting sterilized, but the moron can't handle his kids overnight? Here's the real deal. Somewhere deep in his mind, he thinks that now that you're getting sterilized, you're gonna be going out all the time having sex and not worrying about pregnancy. And that's why he's gonna saddle you with those kids 7 days a week, so you never get a chance to date again. Force him to take his children every weekend, or at least every other weekend overnight. I honestly thought about it, because I know the kids deserve time with him, but I'm worried that it'll just do more harm than good to them. If he can't handle them, I know his mom is there, but I don't want him to make it seem like they're not worth his time when they're already going through so much. Talk to his mom about it, and see if she'll slap some sense into his idiot head. Your poor kids. It's definitely been mentioned. I know she doesn't want to rock the boat too much, but has offered to have them for some sleepovers once summer starts if they want. I will encourage them to go to spend the time with family. Last story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to take care of my husband's medical equipment? So my husband, 42 male, and I, 41 female, are having a disagreement. Here's the situation. He uses a CPAP machine at night. He's had it for 15 years and never puts it away in the morning. He has decided that it's my responsibility to take care of it and prevent the children or our pets from touching it. He says it's unreasonable for him to put it away every morning, even though there are many, many things the kids and I use and put away every single day. He insists that other things of his be left where it's convenient for him, even if it makes life harder for the rest of us. Example, he will leave his shoes under the kitchen table and tells me that I should just not clean the floor there at all so his shoes don't get moved. He goes to great lengths to make life easier for himself, even if that means putting more difficulty on me and our children. Last night, our cat got into our bedroom and chewed on the hose for his CPAP. I didn't know it until we went to bed, and my husband freaked out. He demanded to know why I wasn't watching his CPAP and why I had let it get ruined. Then he decided he wants to lock me and the kids out of our bedroom when he leaves for work every morning. I said absolutely not. Our second bathroom is only accessible through the bedroom, and all my own things are in the bedroom. That would leave me without access to any of my things during the day. Unless I cleared everything out of my room and the second bathroom, which is also where I keep my makeup and other personal items, which to me seems totally unreasonable. I told him he should put away his CPAP every morning. He says that it's unreasonable for him to remember to do such an annoying task and that he shouldn't have to put anything he owns away. I really feel like he should be responsible for his own things and that it is unreasonable for him to lock me out of my own room. So, am I the a-hole? Don't CPAPs need to be dry and cleaned every day? Otherwise, they grow bacteria and can kill you? My significant other uses one. He takes care of it solely. At night when he's setting it back up before I go to bed, I go to sleep before him. He will always turn down my side of the bed so I can climb right in. Yes, it's supposed to be. However, he only cleans it every few months when he replaces the hose. So, this isn't just about the CPAP. You've been his maid for 15 years. He doesn't have to put anything away. He doesn't have to take care of his stuff. He doesn't care if he makes it more difficult for you to clean the floor, and won't even put his freaking shoes away? Sorry, but this isn't okay. I would have chewed that CPAP machine myself.